What's up everyone, Colt Capperrune here. Thank you so much for stopping by for another video. This one is gonna be a little different than what I normally do, but there's gonna be a lot of good stuff in this one. So I've been hearing with more and more frequency lately, comments on my Instagram, by the way, hit me up on Instagram at Colt Capperrune, in face-to-face conversations from clients of mine that a lot of people thought that I only worked on like country and rock and pop country. What's crazy is while I do work on a lot of country music, nothing could be further from the truth actually. So out of the 18 years I've been in a music career, the first decade was pretty much straight rock and metal and heavy metal. I mean like everything from like indie rock to like screamo metal. And that's my entire background, is all hard rock and all metal. From there I started getting into some pop stuff and actually worked on a little bit of dubstep. And then about 8 years ago started the country records. You know, it's probably better if I just show you. Here are some songs I've worked on just in the past year or two.
Maybe I don't wanna go there. Maybe I don't wanna know why I'm screwed up in my mind. Something about the way you are, got the fellas looking at you all night long. Drop it down low when they hear your song and say, go little lady, go little lady. Won't you come with me tonight? Lonely nights, we've been laying low and we're taking it slow, babe. Now will I fall? How could I be so wrong? How could I not believe that I could fall?
So as you can tell, I don't just work on country music. So the weird thing is, how did this actually happen? How did so many people come to believe that all I worked on was country music? Well, it's kind of actually my fault. One of the things I think is super important in building your career as an artist or as a mix engineer, as a producer, whatever it is that you do, any sort of entrepreneurial thing, one of the most important things in my opinion is that you promote what it is that you do accurately. So instead of posting your music or your work on your Facebook and your Instagram all the time, you're relentlessly debating politics, or you're constantly posting travel photos or pictures of your food. It's going to be incredibly difficult for people to come to know you for what it is that you actually do. Now, unfortunately, some of these social media platforms are becoming a dumpster fire pretty quick, but there is still a lot of opportunity to get what it is that you do in front of a massive amount of people on social media. I personally have almost entirely built my career on Facebook and Instagram. And so one of the things that is important is constantly showing what it is that you're working on or what it is that you do, because everything you post becomes part of your brand, so to speak. And you want people to know you for what it is that you actually do. Now, in addition to this, it's very easy to get pigeonholed. Basically what I mean by pigeonholed is you become known for one specific thing so much that people don't really ever hire you for all the rest of the things that you actually do. Country in all of its forms, pop country, traditional country, rock country, is probably 60% of my total work right now. That still means that 40% of my work is pop and rock and metal. So how did I actually get pigeonholed into this situation where everyone thinks I'm just a country producer or just a country mixer? Well, as best as I can tell, there's a couple reasons. Now, one of the things I actually do pay attention to, or I try really hard to pay attention to, is not getting pigeonholed. For instance, this YouTube channel. Initially, this YouTube channel was going to be geared towards artists and how to help artists. And then I was like, well, I'm going to run out of ideas to make videos pretty quickly if everything is geared towards like developing artists. And then I thought, well, I could do the channel on like mixing. And then I'm like, well, I can only post so many mixing tips and tricks before I run out of ideas on how to do this, or producing, or guitar playing. Fill in the blank. It doesn't really matter what it is. This YouTube channel was initially going to be about a very specific thing, and I realized that I would then get pigeonholed. I don't want to only be known as a producer, or only be known as a mix engineer, or only be known as an artist developer, or only be known as a guitarist. Like I want to continually do all of these things. And so one of the things that apparently happened is I was just, without even realizing it, I was posting on Instagram and on Facebook more about the country music that I worked on than I was about the rock or the metal music. So I posted this photo the other day, and the caption on the photo said, "I'm beating this mix into submission. It's a heavy metal kind of day." And there were actually quite a few comments that were like, wait, Wait, you work on more than just country? There was one guy that was like, I knew you did more than country music. I knew you worked on rock. And I was just like, how did I miss this? How did all these people get this wrong about me? So what I want you to take away from this video, as you work your way through your career in whatever it is that you do, be conscious of the things that you post on Facebook and on Instagram, on your socials, on your TikTok. Make sure that they have some relevance to whatever it is that you do. My rule of thumb is that like 5 out of 6 posts need to have some relevance to what it is that I actually do, whether it's videos, producing, mixing, whatever. Because if someone visits my Instagram and all they see is pictures of my food or sunset pictures or fill in the blank, they're gonna have a really hard time wrapping their head around what it is that I do, and that drastically decreases the chance for them to actually hire me because they're not really even sure what I do. So that's what I want you to take away from this. Try to think really big picture. Try to think really long term. Try to make some effort to make sure that you don't get pigeonholed into something that maybe you're not really interested in spending your entire life or your entire career in this one little dimension. It's easier to start off broad and narrow in as you keep going. It's one of the reasons I very actively look for different genres, and I really enjoy working on pop and rock and metal and country and, pretty much anything. I really, especially with mixing, I really enjoy that. It keeps me inspired and it keeps me interested in the music, but in addition to that, I don't ever want to just be the guy who only works on country records or that only plays guitar on records or that only makes YouTube videos. And so my solution for this for myself starts with this video. Even though this is a different kind of video than what I normally make, this is where it starts, just showing what I actually do. And moving forward on my Instagram and my Facebook, I'll be more conscious about posting a variety of things so that way I avoid being pigeonholed as much as possible. And I hope that this sheds some light on some things that you might encounter working through your music career. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.